Welcome to another Delia Secondary Lunch and Learn, informal teacher PD every Wednesday at lunch. This week, virtual and augmented reality. The future is here, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what these terms are and classroom applications. We'll start with virtual reality, which is artificial computer-generated simulations or a recreation of a real-life environment. Think about holodeck on Star Trek. You're fully immersed in this digital world. Now this is in contrast to augmented reality, which is just adding digital elements to real-world elements. So in augmented reality, you can distinguish between the two, but they're kind of working together. I like this video which shows hyper-reality or augmented reality and is meant to kind of warn you against what overload could be. But to me it just kind of looks like Hong Kong. What a nightmare. But there are classroom applications that have been happening because this idea of augmented reality is up and coming in the technology world. So for example, in CGC 1D, which is our grade 9 geography class, Miss Cowan and Mrs. Como used Erasma to augment the models that they had students create. So traditionally, they created a physical model of a different ecozone, and they had little animals, and they had what the terrain looked like, and things like that, but they found they needed the students to have labels attached to their shoebox kind of ecozones, and it was getting too cluttered. So what they did was add triggers to their models through using Erasma that would then link to more information. So for example here with the trees, if you hover over that trigger, a video may pop up explaining more about that part of the ecozone. Or they may use an animal as a trigger image and have something like a text box pop up to give a little bit more information about that animal. So using augmented reality to fuse together the digital and the physical world. In Mr. Aikenhead's grade 12 history class, he also used Erasma to have students collect artifacts for the zombie apocalypse. So the scenario is that the zombie apocalypse has come and the world is being destroyed. Students, you must gather really important artifacts since the 15th century and put them in this sort of physical digital museum. So you'd have all these little artifacts, but then all this extra information attached to it. So people in the future, if they found this, they could get details about why this was an important artifact in the society. So our example, we have Martin Luther here. So if this was chosen as an artifact, on the right hand side here, you can see when you hover your phone over top, it then pops up a video pops up explaining this content a bit further. So students had a fun time kind of connecting again these two worlds get together. A different example was also from Mr. Aikenhead and Mr. Riddick, who used Eris in history and PE classes to create their own mobile learning games. So what Mr. Riddick did was created a game where students use their phones to kind of run around and collect clues and information in this Jurassic Park game he had set up. So he gamified this idea of running around and added motivators to get students to exercise. Together, Mr. Aikenhead and Mr. Riddick gamified the Battle of Hong Kong using this Eris software. So students took on the role of a soldier and they're going through and kind of reenacting all the different events that happened in this battle and collecting clues and kind of learning the story in a really engaging way. Mr. Riddick kind of compares it to geocaching, where you get a clue and then you have to pick up these pieces of information and you really construct the story for themselves. So a really engaging way to get the students learning about history, but also getting some exercise in as well. So here you can see the students looking for the different clues along the trail. So those are some examples of augmented reality, so adding the digital elements to a real world. And I'm going to head back to virtual reality, which I mentioned at the beginning. So this is when you're fully immersed in a digital world. Seems a little futuresque and you're wondering, well, why am I showing this to you? We don't have this sort of technology in the schools. Well, it is actually just on the brink of coming to schools. So just this past month, Google has launched their exhibitions, which allows you to take something as simple as Google Cardboard, which is cardboard and 2 lenses. You pop your mobile phone into it, and suddenly you're able to take virtual, really immersive different field trips. So when you have the Google glasses on, you feel truly immersed in a different world. And the teacher can actually guide students through these field trips and draw attention to different aspects. But from the students' end, they can look around and it looks like you're actually at the location. So this is really exciting technology that's just starting to hit the schools, and I can just think of so many applications in the education world. YouTube also has a whole stream of 360-degree videos already available, so this means you can watch these videos using Google Classrooms, and it really feels like you're there. So that's all I have to share about virtual and augmented reality. Anyone who attended earned 50 points for the Delia Tech Challenge, and I hope to see you next week for the next Lunch and Learn informal teacher PD every Wednesday at lunch.